about the same price. The difference comes in the products that we put in and the way we put in those products. The old saying, you get what you pay for, is pretty accurate when you're building a home. If you put nicer windows in and you put nicer cabinets, it's going to cost a little bit more. If those things are important to you, then you want to do it. We can try to incorporate in your floor plan and get a house that you're going to be happy with.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
All right, welcome into Fitness Fanatics. Once again, I'm Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got the host, as always, Nicole Essing to my left. No Jeff again, as he is ready to watch an Orioles game. Is that today?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he's got
they went to
Ben
win
there
last
as well.
Too.
So yeah, he's no Jeff, but we do got Nicole as always, and we'll have a guest at the 9:30. So again, if you guys ever want to join in on the show, Starter Heyman text line always available to you. 402-464-5685. Put a face to the voice. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 961. But nonetheless, Nicole, it's your show. What do you want to start with?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to shout out our sponsor. Fitness Fanatics is sponsored by Integrated Life Choices, which I said services last week. That was my fault. So Integrated Life Choices, ILC is hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time, days, evenings, weekends. You can apply at ilc.net/careers. Direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. So apologize for screwing that up last time. Now I can't even blame Jeff. I just typed it out wrong and I read what I typed. So my bad. Thank you so much to ILC. We do also have to begrudgingly give Jeff credit because if you haven't noticed yet, I am wearing a Packers hat, which means Jeff brought the hat back from Green Bay last week for me.
He actually brought it back.
He did.
Okay, I don't want to comment on the hat at all.
I
but
know.
Since we're here live on air.
I said I would wear it if he got it. And he was in Iowa by the time the show started. And actually he said that he did not really listen to the show, even though he was in the car on the way here last week. And then I said something to him about it. And then he listened to this segment, the part we were talking about the hat.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, well, I did have to throw you under the bus a little bit in that first segment. And he thought it was just about that. And then he stopped listening. So he listened to maybe 3 minutes of our show last week. Rude. He did go back and listen, but he was just in his car. He could have been totally listening.
He was down in the dumps.
I know.
For all those who didn't hear, he had to go 0-3, and we're going to
0-3.
blast that on the airwaves
I
because
know.
that is fair. So
He's
0-3 in the Tecmo Bowl.
Definitely tanked his Tecmo online league too. He's just, I don't know. His mind is on NCAA football. What's it called? I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
That's what
NCAA
it's
Football
called.
25.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His mind's on that because once that comes out, Ben and him are pivoting to that. So
Are you prepared for that? You might
I
not
don't
see
know.
those guys
I'm
for days
used
at
to
a
it.
time.
It's fine.
Well, you'll see Jeff at the gym.
Yeah.
Might be hard to get him to go. No,
I
I'm
know.
just kidding.
Yeah. Well, Ben works so much too. So who knows? I don't know what they're going to do. Now, is it only on PlayStation?
I know it's on most of the consoles.
Okay.
It's probably going to be on PC.
Okay.
I'm
well,
not sure.
Ben has an Xbox, but
It'll be on Xbox too.
okay. Okay. I don't know.
It's EA. They like to make money. They'll spread it
I
out.
assumed. Yeah. I assumed. We're an Xbox house in our family in our house. But yeah, he did get me the hat. He also got me a keychain and a pair of earrings, which was kind of head scratcher because I don't remember the last time I wore earrings. And so I'm like, well, it's the thought that counts. That was nice. He did admit that he got it at a gas station in Green Bay, but hey, that's fine. I even told him, like, you don't have to go to like a sports store. Just they're probably everywhere there, and they were. They going to a gas station here, you can find Husker stuff.
Oh, I
all
thought
the
you
time.
meant the earrings.
No, the earrings too. all the
okay.
stuff. You got
Okay.
it all at a gas
Hey,
station.
it's a good deal.
I know. So probably won't be wearing those, but it's the thought that counts, I suppose. Definitely appreciate that. But yeah, so him and our son Ben are in Kansas City this weekend for the Royals Orioles game. Our son is a huge Orioles baseball fan, And Harrison, remember last year when they went, is when the Denny's burnt down. So if anyone's been to the Royals Stadium, there's a Denny's that was famously across the street. I think it's across like the river or something from the stadium. And there's a Denny's. And when they got to the hotel last year, Ben looked out the window and you could see the Denny's, and he Snapchatted like, "What of you?" Because it was just the Denny's out of their room. And then 12 hours later, they're woken up by fire alarms, and there's a picture of Denny's on fire, and it burned down. And ironically enough, they're in the exact same hotel room now. This
Yeah, I was
year.
gonna say Jeff sent a follow-up picture, and I was like comparing it. I'm like, this looks like
the exact same room.
I honestly had a thought. I was like, I wonder if Jeff knocked on the person.
Right.
I thought you might do that.
I know. No, they just ironically got the exact same room in the
So they
hotel.
didn't ask for it.
They didn't.
That's crazy.
And so then Ben took a picture now where there's just nothing. Everything's been bulldozed. It's just an empty lot right now. So
the floor's still there.
that
Which
was
is kind of weird.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Mhm.
But didn't have a chance. I haven't had a chance to talk to Jeff. We've been texting, but it sounds like the game last night was pretty good. When you look at the score, it was like 9-7, I think. Orioles won.
Orioles won. Yep, 9-7.
Well, they were up 7-0 in like the first inning, like the bottom of the first or second.
Yeah.
I can't remember. So they got
top of the
ahead.
second inning. They got up 7-0.
Yeah, they were up ahead. And so I just wasn't really following along. So I wasn't really paying attention. But then Jeff messaged me that, they won. And apparently they had a great time. The people they were around were awesome. So must have been a really good game.
Yeah.
And so
the Royals are a lot better this year than you would think too. So it's actually probably fun. I mean, it's a competitive game.
Well, and they play it's a 3-game series this time. And so the Royals won Friday and the Orioles won yesterday. And I just found out last year from Ben, because again, we didn't really watch baseball a ton, that now it's called a rubber match. I didn't know that it was called that. Are you familiar with that?
What do you mean?
So so you don't know either. Okay, then
rubber match.
Feel better. Yeah, you don't know what I mean. A rubber
I'm
match.
probably the least baseball guy here at the station.
Okay. Well, I think it could be on anything. Like you could have a rubber match in bowling too. Anything with a series, because it's the tiebreaker.
Yes.
Today's game is the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I've heard that. Never used it. I don't know anybody that actually uses
Ben
that.
uses it all the time.
Wonder
so
if that's
it
like
must
the
be
new
a big
slang.
baseball thing. I don't know. So I found that out last year. Ben was telling me what a rubber match was. I only watch football. There's really no series. You don't have rubber matches in football necessarily. Although this year, our game against Iowa will technically be a rubber match, right?
Yeah, you could shoehorn it in there. Yeah.
So that's where they are. Jeff will be back next week. Hopefully the Orioles win today. I don't know what time. I think the game is at 1.
Yeah, 1.
Yeah. So and then they'll be coming back, but he will be back with us on next week. But today at 9:30, we have Lexi coming in, and if you've ever been to Nutrition Authority, especially the South location, she has worked there, and probably listeners who've been in there will recognize her from that, from working at Nutrition Authority. But she'll be coming in. She is in her early 20s. I'm really looking forward to having these conversations with her, because she has been immersed in the health and fitness world for a while. And she's just we're going to be talking a lot about that and about the pressures of like the younger generations and stuff, and kind of how she's had to handle and navigate that. The times she's had to decide to take a step back from certain things because it's not helpful to her mental health. So if you are a listener and you are raising especially young women, this is probably a really good one to listen to, because you might not know the pressures that the kids are growing up with now. And Harrison, you and I have talked about this before because you see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't I can't remember where I was reading this off of. Well, not even that. I think I've just heard it over and over and over again. It just makes sense.
Mhm.
Like I'm sure during this first segment, I'll see if I can find some stats from an actual proper
Yeah.
source. But yeah, if you have daughters, like I'm only 25, so obviously I can't relate totally to dads out there. But
But you're
I do
in that
know.
world, and you
Yeah.
have a girlfriend that I'm
Mhm.
assuming is in her early 20s.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So you
And
kind of
it is thing like because I probably grew up like right when social media really started taking
Mhm.
over, kind of that split. But I do remember with Instagram, it was like a weird thing, and especially for girls because say you weren't, one of the quote unquote cool kids, even though it doesn't really matter. Okay,
right.
you don't get invited to a party. Not a big deal. You wouldn't know about it back then, but now you see
Yeah.
it on Instagram. You see all
It's
your friends
huge.
talking about it, and you have to be reminded about things that it just beat yourself up on stuff. And it's that comparing that you guys always
Yeah.
talk about, like how unhealthy that is, and like
Yes.
it can just make things worse if you're constantly comparing yourself to everybody else. So yeah, and especially for girls, I mean, it just makes sense with the
Mhm.
models, the Photoshop, the filters, and then you
Especially
get this
now.
unrealistic image of
Yeah.
what it's supposed to be, and
Yep.
it's just never the case.
I know. And we've talked about this too with our daughter. She's 21 and she has had to take a break from social media. And it's just so interesting because obviously I use social media. Also, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and even on TikTok. But Instagram, especially for her, and it'll be interesting to get Lexi's perspective on this too, because for me, Instagram is not anything that would mess with my mental health in any way. But I understand that obviously I'm a very different demographic to Instagram than a girl in her 20s. So it's just really interesting when Katie will talk about how she had to delete Instagram off of her phone, and then she would every once in a while re-download it, but then just immediately be inundated with just messages that didn't resonate with her about health and wellness and stuff like that. And so now she has gone completely off of Instagram. She will occasionally access it on her computer. And so to her, that's like a little bit of a different, I don't know, platform to consume the content of Instagram. I don't know. I think there's more of an awareness when she's on her computer versus just mindlessly scrolling on her phone. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because
So
with the phone, you just carry it, you go to the bathroom, you're still
Right.
you're
Yeah.
just nonstop.
that's true. I'm that way with TikTok sometimes. And it's stupid because half the
You
time
gotta get rid of
I
TikTok.
know.
You gotta do it.
I can't.
Get rid of it. Delete
Can't
it.
do it because there's so many things I really like about TikTok, but then man, it will sometimes be like it's not anything that's like detrimental to my mental health on TikTok by any means, but it's just half the time is stupid stuff. It's just dumb.
Can you tweak the algorithm yourself by saying I'm not interested, I'm interested?
No, you can tweak the algorithm by what you consume. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you have
Yeah.
to be like aware and not
do.
let the reel catch
Yeah,
you.
you
And
do.
it takes like it's like 1-2 seconds
Yeah.
longer. Like and it just counts that. That's why
true.
Instagram reels, I need to get off those too. But
Yeah.
like I like those at least because I can be like, don't ever show me this again.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do that. I'm sure you probably can, but so the one that really annoys me if I'm like accidentally can't scroll fast enough, and it's usually ads for me. So the Lumi ads that come on, which are just ridiculous. If you
Lumi.
watch TV, you've probably seen them. They're on sports too. But anyway, it's stupid. It's just an ad for like deodorant, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just so invasive. Like they're just everywhere, these commercials. And sometimes I'll be doing something and I'll accidentally have like watched the ad for a little too long because I'm not paying attention, or maybe I'm not even right by my phone and it's just on. And then I'm like, no, I have to run to my phone, scroll off of it. And then I have to be super hyper aware, like immediately scroll off of it when I see it again. But when I do get kind of in a rabbit hole of something I don't want to be served to, then I just go to like things that I do enjoy, like, cat videos, which are always fun. And then I'll just watch one of those like 4 times in a row.
That's
and then
fine.
it
That
gets
can't
me
hurt.
right back on
Yeah.
track.
That won't hurt your mental health.
Right.
Watching cute animals.
Yeah, I
Stuff
know.
like that's fine.
But you do have to be super aware, because I think that sometimes, and I just had this happen today because I just don't think people know that this happens, because we've all had it happen where you're talking about something and then it shows up on your social media and you're just like, how do they know? Like,
Yeah, it's
and
worse.
right.
I hate it. I'm like, stop
It's
listening
so
to me.
creepy. But I just had it happen to me because I've been watching a couple Netflix series that are based in Britain, just because they're like based on books, and that's just where. And so now Netflix is like British based series. And so I just started another one. It's just like a mystery series, like nothing bad or nefarious about it at all. But I was on the treadmill this morning and I was running and I was watching the first episode of this Netflix series. I don't even remember what it's called because I've only gotten one episode in. But then I got off the treadmill, went to go do something. I opened up Instagram and I am being served ads from like British companies. And I was consuming Netflix on my phone also.
That makes sense.
Right. So like, and I was just like, this is weird. And it was very similar to the ads that I normally get. So as a gym owner, and a lot of my content on Instagram is fitness related, I do get a lot of ads for like gym owners. And it was the same thing, but it was a British based company, and the people in it were like British, speaking a British accent.
Yeah, it's just so creepy.
Yeah.
Like
And
I really just get more like, in this, I'm just could be totally wrong in this, but I hate it because it does feel like a almost dystopian sometimes when you have these databases with Instagram, Facebook. Well, even that's the same. That's Meta, same thing, but Google, and they just have every interaction you've had online in this database, and they track it all, and they throw everything they can at you to make more money.
I know.
Feels a little, doesn't feel great.
But I just don't think that everyone quite has that awareness of how targeted marketing can be.
Especially kids.
Yeah,
like we're talking
I
about.
know. Kids
Or
especially
adults in
have
this
no
world.
idea. So I think that if we can bring awareness to that and be like, this is weird, why am I getting this? But then it totally makes sense because of, but and being a business owner, there's tons of, information out there about marketing. I don't think most people understand like the concept of geofencing. So as marketing, you can, and people have had this happen before too, where you're maybe scrolling on your phone. Like this happens when I'm riding in the car. Jeff is driving and maybe I'm scrolling Facebook as we're driving. And then the closer you get to a business, you start getting served ads for their business. That's because they geofence that area. And so when you're in a 5-mile radius of a certain place, then you're going to start getting served those ads. And so I just don't think people really understand. So again, the biggest thing that I like to do when it comes to stuff like this is bringing that awareness to people that like, this is why this is happening. It's not fate. It's not like a coincidence. You are a product to these people. Like, you are definitely being completely marketed to almost all the time if you're on social media.
Yeah. And you just got to be understanding of it. And again, that's why, especially with kids, because like we're talking about, I'm 25 years old. I still have a hard time with that. I should be aware.
Yeah.
Like, and if I was 16, 13, 4, I mean, most kids probably get smartphone at 13 years old.
Yeah, I think
they're not thinking about that stuff.
No.
And you can't blame them. Like you got to, as an adult, you got to educate them. But even then, it's going to be hard for them. So
yeah, and that's when a lot of their like the things that they believe about themselves are like those seeds are planted during those times. And so
and you don't want your kid wanting to be, one of those TikTokers that you don't like, and then your kid's just mimicking this TikToker whose whole bit is going around in public being a public nuisance for clicks and views.
That's so true.
It's a real thing.
Oh my gosh, the amount of emails we've gotten from our son's school, it's actually calmed down just a little bit. But yeah, it'll be like there's this TikTok trend going around. One was like kids like destroying bathrooms in their school.
That was insane.
Yeah, and so it was just like, please have a conversation with your kid because we're gonna have to shut the bathrooms down like during certain times of the school.
I think they said, look at this lick, as in terms of like they stole something.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I know. So that is true.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I know, hopefully once Lexi gets in here, she can help.
She's behind us right now, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Shed some light onto that. So hopefully, if you're listening and you have, kids, this might be something that might be good for you to kind of really understand because kids don't always talk to you about stuff like that, or you don't even think to talk to them about it because I never grew up with social media. I didn't even have my first cell phone till I was in my 20s. And it was a very like bricky phone. Like it was, not a smartphone by any means. This was in like early 2000s. So I didn't get my first smartphone. I don't know, till much later. So maybe people don't fully understand how different social media looks to their kids than it does to them. So hopefully we can shed some light on that.
Yeah. When did you give your kids smartphones? If you don't mind me asking.
I would have to. So our daughter got a cell phone first, like the slide phone, like
Those are the
not a
best. I missed
smartphone.
mine.
I know.
Sliding out keyboard.
Yeah.
I got so
We
fast
just
at
found
that.
it not that long ago, and of course fired it up, plugged it in to look at some of the pictures that she had on there. So that was kind of funny. So she got that one first, but I feel like Ben was probably 13 when he got his first. I think Ben got a smartphone right away. I don't think we had him on like just a regular flip type phone. So I think he was 13 when he got his phone. I don't know.
Well, good for Ben. He seems like he's got his head on straight.
He is
so
very like
seems
disconnected
responsible.
from his phone. He has Instagram and he has Reddit, but he's not one that is like constantly on his phone the way that like our daughter was. So
Absolutely.
that's a difference in 3 years of an age gap too. So that's kind of crazy. Just kind of how they grew up. So we'll see. I don't know.
We're going to dive into it some more.
Yes.
You got anything else before we go to break? Here?
Nope. Let's go.
Absolutely. We got Lexi up next. We're going to dive more into this conversation right here on Fitness Fanatics. And again, Nicole Essink hosting. No Jeff today, but nonetheless, the show will go on. We will talk to you guys in just a little bit.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you are passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Alcohol has strained our relationship. Drinking too much can cause harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, we will save our relationship. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line. Here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Clothes dryer not drying like it should? Could be your dryer vent. Call Bryant for a professional cleaning. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Spring is here, and Acres is offering special financing on select new John Deere lawn tractors and zero-turn mowers. Visit your nearest Acres store and test drive all the latest John Deere turf equipment and attachments. And for a limited time, with the purchase of a new John Deere mower, get up to $200 to apply to the steel power tool of your choice. From trimmers to chainsaws, gas or electric, Acres is your home for steel products and service. Offer expires April 30, 2024. Subject to approved credit by John Deere Financial.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes.
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Nobody goes to McDonald's more than you. Nobody. Every meal, every call. I mean,
don't go
every meal.
Every morning you're there.
Every morning goes to McDonald's
every day. I do it. Oh, I go every day.
Is it?
Yeah,
How many
that's what I
times?
mean. That's a lot.
How many? sometimes
I'm
twice
saying
a
in
day.
the next year I go 9 times. I
That's
go
high
9.
for me. I'm not going 9
Oh,
times
I mean
to
7
McDonald's.
times
Yeah.
a week. 7
Yeah.
times a week.
That's what I mean.
Yes,
But there's a lot of times though you go more than once a day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm telling you. So it's
But I just
500.
get coffee.
But you go 500 times a year. That's a lot. 500 times a year. The most I'm at is 9. I'm at 9. Jake's at 4, and you're at 500.
I say 4 to 5 for myself.
So I said 9. He said
Put
500.
it that way.
It is. Just do the math.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. Tune in every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't miss the opportunity to learn about the Malone Community Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln and the surrounding area. It's the Malone Radio Show with Executive Director John Goodwin and Sports Director Mike Hunter every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Fitness Fanatics. Am I on? I can barely hear myself.
Just turn your headphones down.
No? Okay.
Well, you sound good.
I believe
Try to
you.
Figure it out during the break.
I believe you. But welcome back. We have Lexi in studio with us. As I mentioned, if you've been a customer of Nutrition Authority, especially the South location, you've probably seen Lexi in there in the store. But we're going to be talking about kind of your journey. And so what we normally do in this first segment is just like let us know kind of your background, where you grew up. Did you play sports in high school? Kind of how that transitioned into college and beyond. And so let's just kind of learn about you a little bit.
Lexi, most people do know me from Nutrition Authority, which is great, but I do have a life outside of that, believe it or not. So working at Nutrition Authority definitely opened me up quite a bit, but I am currently in school right now, and surprisingly not in school for health sciences, exercise sciences, nothing like that. Actually going for business and finance. So, which is quite exciting for me. I go to SEC right now, and then in the fall, I'll start up at UNL, which is quite exciting. I don't do anything sports wise. I did a lot of sports in high school, but
yeah, what did you do in high school?
I did track and basketball in high school, and then I also rode horses competitively.
Oh,
which
okay.
not a lot of people knew.
Yeah. Did you grow up here in Nebraska?
I did.
Yeah.
Yep. From Lincoln, born and raised in Lincoln, so nothing too crazy there. Nothing
Yeah.
very exciting.
Sometimes we get some small town kids. Like Harrison's a small town kid, so
Right.
you just never know.
Right.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, Hickman. I know Hickman.
Yeah.
But that's like barely a small town. It's
Yeah.
50 minutes south, so it's not really that
Yeah.
that small of a town
Yep.
anymore. But yeah, I grew up doing horses, a little bit of sports here and there. Not super serious or anything. I really just did it for fun, just to kind of fill in my time a little bit. I stopped riding horses. Last year I donated her, so I put all my focus onto health and fitness, starting at Nutrition Authority, and I still do. I still love it so much. I feel like that's kind of my identity. So,
like it or not, right?
Yeah, exactly. Whether I
Yeah.
like it or not, it's kind of my personality at this point, which is good. I started lifting at a very young age, probably about 8th grade. And then going into high school with sports, I still definitely incorporated it. And then once I quit sports, about in the middle of high school, I just kind of kept going with it. I kept lifting. I still wanted to stay very active. And that's where I really fell in love with it, with the lifting, the health, and the nutrition is kind of after that. So
And so that made sense, for you kind of going into a part-time type job. So yeah, why wouldn't you want to work kind of similar to what goes with
Exactly.
your hobbies, which makes sense. Like if you were a sewer, yeah, go work at a fabric store. That would be a great place to work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect, if you were to tell me I was going to work at Nutrition Authority beforehand, I was not going to believe you. I was actually, before that, I worked at a couple restaurants serving, and then I worked at Menards as well.
Oh, sure.
So Matt Dow, which I love him so much.
Yeah, we love Matt.
He reached out to me through Instagram one day out of nowhere and was just like, hey, do you want to join our team? And I told him no. I told him no so many times because I knew the money was good at Menards. That was my main focus. So he
There's
definitely
so many people that have worked at Menards that I know. It's kind of crazy.
Save big money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a rite of passage, I guess, in Lincoln to have worked
it's
at
an
Menards.
easy job for good money.
Yeah.
So
Smells good in there too all the time.
it's traumatizing now.
It smells
Before
good.
that, I'm traumatized by it.
What does Menards smell like?
Like wood.
Okay. I
bead,
mean,
whatever,
I've been
whatever they got
into
in there.
Menards, obviously,
Tools.
but yeah, I just don't.
Smells like a hard-working man is what it smells like.
Oh God!
There you go.
Oh boy! Lexi knows our demographic very well. Apparently, listen to her. So okay. Anyway, yeah. So Menards, and then you finally must have given in.
I did.
Yeah.
You convinced me
No,
one
he's
day.
so nice.
I went in just to kind of talk a little bit about it, and I was like, okay, this is a really good opportunity. I don't know why I would say no.
Yeah.
And I was there. And before you knew it, I quit Menards and I was working there, and it was literally a dream job. It was a dream.
Yeah,
Still
super
am
fun.
amazed today. So
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah.
And then so you said you lifted like starting in 8th grade.
Mhm.
So did you do that through school, or were you just doing that on your own? Like, kind of how did that get started? Because I feel like that's pretty young.
It is.
for
It's
a
very, very
girl
young.
especially.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget like how young that really is.
Mhm.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
My mom and I started working out with a personal trainer.
Mhm.
So her and I would go before school in the mornings, and we would work out together. I think it was like twice a week,
Mhm.
maybe. And then I would go on my free time whenever I could throughout the summers, and then obviously through sports and everything. That was a
Yeah.
good amount of exercise there. But the actual lifting part was with my mom.
Mhm.
So she was a very big influence on me.
That's really cool.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So talk about her background then. Like, how did you grow up? Like, I've said this many times on the show that I grew up with my mom was not physically active. Neither of my parents were. Because I grew up in the 80s. So height of like low fat fads and all that stuff. And like everyone was super skinny. And I say that I knew from a young age, like the parts of my mom's body that she didn't like about herself. Like, I know exactly what she didn't like about herself.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so that kind of formed a lot of how I felt about myself too. Cause as you get older, as a girl, you're growing up and you're just like, well, she hates this about her. Do I have that too? And then you start thinking about that way. So how was that for you?
Yeah, I guess that's a really good point. I guess
Mhm.
my mom grew up when she was my age. She had disordered eating herself.
Mhm.
So she's very, very body conscious. Definitely wanted to look a certain way, like most girls do, though.
Yeah.
It's not an uncommon thing. And then growing up with her, I noticed she would eat very healthy, very, very clean. She cared about her body. She cared about the way she looked. But I never viewed that as like a negative thing. I
Mhm.
just thought, oh, she wants to be healthy. She
Yeah.
wants to look good, feel good. So I noticed that. I would follow her ways. And then when she wanted to kind of get into the lifting, I was a little bit chubbier in middle school, I won't lie. And I think
Which is totally normal.
Yeah,
Like,
truly,
that's
yeah.
just what happens with girls and boys. Like, it's always funny to look back on our kids' pictures and those certain years where you could tell that they were like, had gotten a little bit chubby, but then you know that like a growth spurt is coming. Like Ben, especially, it's always
I
crazy.
hit the husky
Yep.
section,
Yes.
and then next year I got to 6 foot.
Yep. And then bloop, and even our daughter too. So that is totally normal.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I feel like I definitely grew horizontally
First.
and then
Yeah.
vertically.
And I
Like
think
I kind
that's
of grew
how-
into it.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I think like that's
Right.
totally normal. But I think sometimes it's also, unfortunately, especially for girls, that happens at an age where we're just starting to become very aware of that.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
And I would definitely compare myself to the other girls in middle school. I was a little bullied in elementary school and middle school a little bit for it.
Mhm.
I was very different. Like in middle school, I had like purple hair, pink hair, or like definitely different colors of hair. I just wanted to be myself, but I was influenced by a lot of the girls who I just wanted to like me.
Yeah.
So I started working with my mom. I would go I remember going in the basement and doing like HIIT workouts or
Mhm.
Zumba classes in my living room or just crunches in the middle of my room, like
Mhm.
all the time. And I loved it. And but maybe was a little bit disordered.
Yeah.
If I
Mhm.
didn't exercise that day, I would definitely beat myself up. And doing that at a very young age isn't super healthy, but it made me who I am today. So I can't complain about it at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's really hard. That's a really tough time to navigate because you just don't know. Like for you, it definitely spawned into more of a positive for sure, where you were able to like become a lifter and focus on strength and stuff.
Right.
But
And
it's
influence
hard.
other girls.
Yeah,
too.
and you would never want to, like, our daughter is very active now. She's, like I said, she's 21 and she does ferals also, and she loves it. And she's looking to get into running a little bit more. She's done a half marathon with us before, but she did not train for it. So it took her forever. Like, so she's looking to redeem herself this year. And, you know,
She's setting herself up well so that the next one. she's
yeah,
gonna
that's what I
blow
told
it out of the
her.
park.
I know. That's what I told her. And we're gonna run it together, or we're both going to do the same race. And at this point, from what she's telling me she's doing just with some of her treadmill runs, like I'm worried I'm not gonna be able to keep up with her this time, because we didn't stay together when we did the Lincoln Half in 2021. She was like way behind us. And so but it's so tough, but it's also really cool to see her evolution in that. And so now it's like she does everything she does, it's because she is empowered by it. So
it's a good feeling. It's
yeah,
rewarding. Whenever you do see progress and improvement, it's a very rewarding experience.
Yeah. Yep. It is. So I think something good can come out of it, even though maybe it stems from insecurity. But as long as, like you said, you grew up in a healthy, like eating healthy food. So that helps a lot. Cause I think like when I was growing up, we did not eat healthy at all. I grew up really low income. So a lot of our food was like Hamburger Helper, mac and cheese, pizza boats, which were like, pizza boat, like,
oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
I love those.
Yeah,
those are so good. On a cheat day.
Eat those today.
Like a hot dog bun with
the Lunchable packs.
pizzas. No, I didn't even have Lunchables. First of all, I'm too old. I did not grow up with Lunchables.
Overrated. Those things were not good.
Oh, some of them are good. I mean, sometimes
there's always one item on that tray that you're like, I'm not sure about.
My hot take on Lunchables. My favorite one, it's really hard to find, is the ham and Swiss cheese one, which sounds I know it sounds.
I didn't even know they had.
You can
that.
only find them at like gas stations, which is like red flag. Like
huge no bueno there.
So, and I mean, when I say Lunchables, I don't eat them. I eat them maybe like 4 times a year. So I just did stop at a gas station today and I saw one and I was like, dang it. I'm not going to eat it, but
it's probably one of those things where it's like, you remember it being so good. Like the pizza one that was my favorite. And I bet if I had it today, I'd be like, this is garbage.
Yeah, I know. The ham and Swiss ones are not bad, but again, not telling anybody you should eat Lunchables.
They'll say 100% freshness guaranteed.
No.
13 grams of protein.
13 grams of protein is not bad. Like the macros of them, you can fit it in like in an emergency.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Right.
And then you throw on the Oreos in there too. A couple Oreos.
Yeah, I don't get the one with the Oreos. It's just the meat and the cheese and the crackers. That's it. So to me, the Oreo is a little. I don't do that one. So
I mean,
anyway,
that one's really not that bad.
I digress.
Just some cheese, meat, and crackers.
Yeah, I know. It's true. But I didn't grow up with Lunchables. So we grew up with like typical like I don't know, like food stamp type foods is what we grew up with. And this was in the 80s. So it was like very limited. And so I had gone through the similar like with you, except my content I was consuming was through magazines because we didn't have social media or YouTube. Like you were probably looking up like YouTube videos on stuff. Right.
Oh yeah.
Workouts on YouTube. I'm looking at like magazines, like Self magazine, and it'd be like 5 moves for a flat stomach or whatever. And so I'd be in my room doing those too. But I also then would go out and eat, Hamburger Helper for dinner or whatever. So I think for you, it was a good balance where you were getting into that, but you were also surrounded by like healthy food.
Yes.
And I think that sometimes is hard for kids who are athletic or have that. Maybe they're not super competitive. Like I was not. So I didn't play group sports, but I am athletic. And it took me a long time to figure out the difference between that. But if you're in a house where that's really not a priority, that can be hard. And I think that's where sometimes it sets up those like disordered type eating. Yeah.
Easily, because you're influenced, you're surrounded by it. So it's like,
and you don't have control.
This is a normal thing. Like I have to look in a certain way. I have to eat a certain way. If you're surrounded by certain people at school, like to be liked, you have to look a certain way. It consumes you a little bit on a day-to-day basis.
And you can just kind of be torn in a bunch of different directions as a kid, as a teenager.
And for sure.
Yeah. Definitely especially that like 8th grade, 9th grade. So like 8th grade is like, how old are you when you're in 8th grade?
Oh my gosh. 14, 13, maybe?
More. Yeah, I think I was 14, 13. Yeah. I was the oldest in my class though. So I think I was like 15.
Yeah. So
self-conscious years are usually around
you're
there.
You're just starting.
You're growing up.
Tough.
You think you're like super mature and
Mhm.
independent
You
and all
want-
grown
you
up, but
can
you're
make your own
not.
decisions.
Yep.
But you cannot.
Yep. And I was super confident. Like, don't get me wrong, I was the most confident girl you could ever meet. I didn't care what anybody thought.
Which is probably why you got bullied, because that's threatening to other girls.
It is. Yeah. I just wanted to be liked at the end of the day. So I would do anything in my power to be liked and to stand out. Like, I didn't care what I had to do.
Right.
But then it consumed me a little bit.
Yeah,
Like, it pros and cons
backfires.
once again.
I don't think, because when I was growing up, I don't remember it being that way, but I remember my daughter. So, Lexi, how old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay. I couldn't remember if you were, I knew you were right around the same age as our daughter, but I couldn't remember if you were like a year older or younger. You're a year younger than her. When she was in like second grade, I remember the teacher sending an email and saying that she had to keep all of the girls back during recess so they could have a talk about how to be good friends. Like, I think
we had those so many times.
Yes.
So many times. Oh, girls are so mean.
I know.
Girls are so
That
mean.
was not my experience growing up, which I did grow up in a very small town. So I think that helped also. Like, I had 98 people in my graduating class. So like, I went to preschool with most of the people that I graduated with. And bullying definitely was a thing, but it was more boys bullying the other boys.
Okay.
I didn't really experience bullying, even though, like I said, I was definitely low income and wasn't popular, wasn't in a lot of things, couldn't go to stuff because I lived out in the country. And so I never experienced that. But I think a lot of people don't understand how mean girls can be now.
Sometimes, yeah. So I remember a girl told me if I couldn't wrap my fingers around my wrist that I was fat.
Oh, yeah.
And that like really hit me. I was like, dang, I can't do that. Like, I got short fingers. That's
Right.
why that's probably what my
I'm a
problem
small
was.
person.
So that definitely influenced me. And then with like the colored hair, people would like call me like booger hair, or
Oh my gosh.
when I had a red hair, they would call me something. I don't know, just like little nicknames, but I thought I just laughed at it. I just
Right.
laughed it off. That was my coping mechanism. You'd be like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
booger hair. That's me. That's me.
So
No big
clever.
deal. So
Yeah. So it's definitely different just in our 20-year age gap.
That's crazy.
22
That
years.
really is crazy.
I
yeah.
know it is. All right. Well, we'll go to break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about sports and just kind of how you feel about like professional sports, stuff like that, like we normally do. And then we'll get back into the big stuff at the top of the hour.
What's your radon level at home? Don't know? Find out with a call to Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating, 467-1111 for radon testing and mitigation.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives. You can get diesel anywhere, but what about atomic diesel? That comes from Stern. Atomic Diesel is your solution to all your cold weather problems. Prevent clogged fuel filters, increase your fuel economy, and save money with Atomic Diesel. Contact Roger at Stern today by calling 1-800-477-2744 to see how Atomic Diesel and the rest of their line of fuels and lubricants can keep your operation running at max capacity. Grab a free burger and beer at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln on April 27th during their Husker Spring Game tailgate. Meet the Elway Power Sports team, play some tailgate games with them, and enter for a chance to win an official John Elway autographed football. Check out their huge selection of boats and watercraft for the summer, along with hundreds of motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides from all the major brands. Stop out and watch the game with them on April 27th. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, 27th and I-80. They'll be tailgating all day.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
What do you think of when you hear the chocolate season? Artisan chocolates? Of course, they have the best chocolates this side of the Atlantic. Friendly neighborhood coffee shop? Yup, they're that too. A nationally recognized top-tier brunch spot. Waffle weekends, baby. And the place to grab a gift for literally any occasion? Everybody loves chocolate. See for yourself at the Chocolate Season, 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead online at thechocolateseason.com.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Women may be complicated, but I make sure buying jewelry isn't. Your gal has a style, and you can figure this out. Is she more of a classic necklace kind of gal, or does she rock the boho chic vibe with layers of delicate bracelets? This is crucial intel. Not trusting your intel? Stop in the store and we'll sort out the details. I promise to make this super easy. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we are back. Welcome back into Fitness Fanatics, and we're just continuing our conversation here with Lexi. This is our segment where we kind of pivot to sports just a little bit because it's our little short segment. So
Jeff, I need you.
I know. I'm sorry. It's been 2 weeks without Bears talk.
I have the draft. Like, am I going to see him?
No, you're not going to see him before the draft. I mean, you'll talk about it next week.
Sure.
We'll talk about it next week too. But so I kind of talked to you about like professional sports that you watch, and you said you're not a huge sports
watcher.
Not
a ton. Like TV overall, I don't watch a ton of.
So you don't like follow any sports, basketball, baseball, football?
Not really. I watch a little bit like at work or with my dad and my brother love sports.
Yeah.
So when I'm there with them, I'm forced into it. I have no option
but
to talk about it.
Yeah.
So football, they love the Broncos. That's their team. Chiefs, obviously we love to, but it's kind of it's two sides of the spectrum there.
Yeah.
But I kind of grew up around it. So it's not like my favorite thing. My mom's the same way. Like she can talk sports, but it's not like she's
that's how I am.
A master in it. But
I love watching it, but it doesn't stick with me. It'll just like fall right out of my brain after the game's over. Like I don't remember. I don't even know who we lost to, who the Packers lost to in the playoffs. I'd have to really think about it. I know we beat the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And then
was it the
I don't know.
Chiefs?
Yeah, just bloops right out of my brain.
No, it wouldn't have been the Chiefs.
Just
it would have been. Who did you guys lose to?
All you know is that you lost.
I watched the game.
I took a lot I took a lot of joy in it. I should remember.
I don't know.
402-464-5685.
Yeah. I don't know. Somebody knows, but I like it when it's on, but I don't. It doesn't stick with me. It's fine.
But like I like going to Husker games.
Yeah.
Even though we're not super awesome and super good at the sport.
We will be this year.
I still like going and watching, and I know what's going on. Like when I do sit there and watch it, like high school, I actually knew what was going on versus a lot of the other girls were just kind of like, yeah,
the Lion. What?
I think so, right?
The Lions. We played in our own division for the playoffs.
Well, you won the first round.
I don't know. See, I don't even know.
Because you guys got in the wild card.
Oh, okay. That could be. I don't know.
I'm distracting you guys.
I know. Anyway, but you said you do like the like the concept of the sport.
I do.
Yeah. So
I do.
You watch like documentaries on sports.
Yes,
Yeah.
I watch documentaries on the sports, any sort of like Netflix series.
Yeah.
Like The Quarterback was really good, and then I watched. I'm not gonna remember what it was called.
I think
But-
HBO has the Hard Knocks one, right? That one's pretty good, I think. But yeah, we like watching those too.
They're really good.
Yeah.
They're
So the
really
one,
good.
the quarterback one, was that the one with Kirk Cousins?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kirk
See, I know some
Cousins.
things.
Yes. See, you know.
Yeah, we watched that briefly. Yeah.
So that taught me a lot about like what the
Yeah.
player view
Mhm.
of it is. I mean, watching it's great and like knowing like, oh, they won, they lost, but once you view it, they're actual humans.
The behind the scenes
Yes,
and everything
I'm
that
like,
goes
that's
into it.
really cool. They are really hardworking people. That's an eye opener
I know.
there.
It
Eye
is.
opener.
Probably not quite worth what they get paid, but
No,
they still work pretty hard.
and they still get paid quite a bit of money.
I know.
They
Yeah.
still
I
do.
agree. I do like watching those kind of documentaries too. And it's also, I always try to like bring it back to our business at Farrell's and stuff, and how, and I talked about this last week too, about how when you watch stuff like that, you realize how if you can just train like an athlete, even though you're not necessarily if you're not a professional athlete, you're not getting paid for it, but like those athletes, Kirk Cousins isn't like consuming TikTok and being like, oh, this is the next new trend. This is what I need to do. I need to start like doing this instead. Like, oh, I shouldn't be
Right. He's focused on
lifting
what
heavy.
works
I
with
should
him.
be right. He's not flip-flopping back and forth between 100 different things. You do one thing and you get really good at it, and then you just keep staying good at it.
Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's how I always like to relate those, when you can see that, same thing with like Tom Brady. He's not changing up his meal plan every 3 months because there's a new fad out. He knows what he needs to do for performance, and he sticks with it, which I always think we could always benefit from scaling down what those professional athletes do, scale it down to our lives. And I think that helps
He's
sometimes.
like, not making it so complex. I feel like people ask like, Kirk Cousins, what's your workout plan? What's your meal plan? And then he just says the basic stuff, and it's like, oh,
yeah. Well,
I thought
that's
it was
not
almost like the
exciting.
extreme. Yeah. Well,
That's not marketable. Yeah.
It's kind of the point. It's not supposed to be exciting and
So
different and
true.
unique.
Yeah. So that I'm kind of there too. But all right. Well, we will go to break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more health and fitness again. So we will be right back. 93.7 The Ticket.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you are passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Lincoln is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and actively involved in our community. Last year, I voted for the largest property tax relief package in Nebraska history. Property tax relief is important to every family, and I will continue to deliver more property tax relief to working families. This is Carolyn Bosin, and I am asking for your vote on May 14th. Paid for by Bosin for Legislature.
Nutrition Authority invites you to save 35 to 75% off at the Spring Mega Sale. We're taking our better than internet prices and cutting them even deeper, bringing you the biggest sale of the season. Monday, April 15th through Saturday, April 20th, the Spring Mega Sale is on at Nutrition Authority. For location information, check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
This is Coach Bill Bush. You all know my passion for Nebraska. Having coached all over the country, I can honestly say there is no place like Nebraska. You know where there's also no place like? Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank has proudly served Nebraska for over 70 years, and they're located in 9 different communities. Midwest Bank is ready, willing, and able to meet all your personal, business, and agriculture needs. Your community, your bank, and mine, Midwest Bank. Find out more at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Hi, I'm Senator Bo Ballard. I was born and raised in Lancaster County, learning the value of hard work and grit at a young age. I built my own company, creating jobs right here in our community. I know that families and businesses in our community need lower taxes, lower cost of healthcare, and a great education. That's why, as your senator, I helped pass the largest tax cut and made the most significant investment in education in Nebraska history and worked to reduce the cost of healthcare. I'm Senator Bo Ballard, and I humbly ask for your vote on May 14th. Paid for by Ballard for Nebraska.
Be a memory for your grandchildren. Among Nebraska adults age 65 or older, 47% report current alcohol use. Drinking too much can cause harm to children, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, you will still be around for your grandchildren. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
When you're in New York, Nick, in New York, I mean, you're talking about, you see mafioso types. You go into a restaurant and you would literally eat. Hey, come on over here. You know, they I don't know how to say it. I don't got the accent, but they would say, come, Strick, come here, come over. Have a drink on me. And what are you going to do? Say no?
You not say
you
no
don't
to that?
say no to the drink. You don't say no.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essing.
Welcome back to Fitness Fanatics. We are going to continue our conversation with Lexi here. If you're watching on the stream, she was victim to the Rubik's Cube of our headsets. They're pretty tricky.
Third person today.
I know they are.
Honored. I'm honored.
I notoriously tell our members that they're not special, but meaning like if there's something that's holding you back, like that doesn't make you special. It makes you totally normal. So it's like you just had a you're not special moment. Like, oh, you had a hard time getting your headset on. That does not make you special.
Good.
That
Now you're
makes you
part
normal.
of the team.
Yeah. One time,
one of
I almost gave myself a black eye with the headset. It hit me
That was
right in the nose. As it came out. It hurt so bad.
I was so sad. I wanted to get a clip of it, but I didn't have you on camera.
No.
Oh my gosh. That sounds
It
like your
hurt.
luck.
My
That
eyes
sounds
were
like your luck.
watering for like the whole first segment. I thought I was going to have, sometimes you hit your nose. I thought I was going to have a black eye from it, but I did not. So that does not make you special. You've been initiated now.
And it could have been a black eye. So
I know.
it doesn't feel as
It
cool
could have
anymore.
slipped right off and just bashed you in the head.
Could have.
Yeah. So anyway, we kind of get off topic sometimes here, but if you're watching, you could definitely watch on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube,
X, Allo 961.
I just still have a hard time calling it X. I don't know.
I think it's the URL still has Twitter in it. So
Yeah. Anyway,
I think
so
both is fair.
if you ever want to watch people struggling to get their headsets on, you got to watch our streams so you can see people struggle to get their headsets on.
But
But
a little bit.
yeah. Make a little montage
exactly, yeah.
one of these days. So let's get back on track here, kind of talking about kind of your perspective. That's kind of what we wanted to bring today. That Gen Z perspective of health and wellness and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
kind of talk about that. Like, what have you seen? And I think that what you do, like you're immersed in like your fitness journey, but also like working at Nutrition Authority. I'm sure you work with I know you work with people of all ages. So you have a really good perspective where you're like in what's happening now to people growing up, but you also see how older generations kind of navigate the same thing.
Yeah.
So what is some of the things that you've seen just in the last couple of years, kind of the changes or with kind of your generation and their like focus on or aspect of fitness?
Yeah. So I think it's very trendy right now to go to the gym
Mhm.
through social media, through TikTok, even going to the gym and seeing results and just making it kind of as a daily routine, a daily habit. It's a thing which I love seeing. I like seeing more people get into the gym. I like seeing especially more girls get into the gym. A lot of the girls have a lot of motivation and they have a lot of drive to just kind of be out there. It's definitely more trendy to be lifting rather than just being cardio bunny and just doing straight cardio, which I love seeing. The difference between a Gen Z and the older generation is definitely the obsession. I feel like it's a lot more of an obsession with my age group, just with, I don't know if it's social media. I don't know if it's the comparison from body image, but if I meet with someone younger who's my age, I feel like we can relate more just with it being a really big focus and a really big part of our life, which is awesome because when you get results, you feel very confident, you feel very rewarded for what you have. But if you mess up or if you have a bad day, it brings you down and it almost kind of ruins your day and it determines if you're gonna have a good day or a bad day. But with the older generation, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a side hobby. It's something I enjoy and I know it's healthy for me, so I'm gonna add it in whenever I can. If I can't get to the gym, that's okay. If I have a bad day or if I have a bad meal, I can move on really easily. Maybe I'm not seeing the Gen Zs that go through that, but I feel like a lot of the Gen Zs, they do strive for perfection, and that's kind of like they have to be perfect. They have to work out every single day, and if they don't, someone's going to notice. They're not worthy enough. They're not valued, which is okay. You know, there's some pros in that. I do still love seeing the motivation and the drive that the young people have, but I also don't. I wish it wasn't so obsessive.
Yeah, you're not out here like discouraging people your age from exercise. But I see this with our daughter too, because she can definitely be very all or nothing when it comes to that. So if she's in a really good groove, like everything falls into place. But yeah, if she has that one bad day, and it's not necessarily one. So our daughter is